Start to limit the swearing. We are live. All right, we're on. Okay, we are live here from South Yarmouth, Massachusetts. Some ACST playoff matches. We got Patrick Holland taking the lane and lane 3 here. He is the number 6 seed on the road in South Yarmouth, playing against Rischitelli in this 5-game quarterfinal match.
Shelly wants to log in ACS.
It's the ACST Facebook page, I believe. And Patrick coming right out with a head pin on the board with 8 pins. Hey, good, how are you? Welcome. Patrick looking for a mark right out of the gate on the road here. Oh, gets the wood involved, but didn't have the angle there. Over on 1 and 2, you see Doug Valancourt and Joe LeBlanc, who are also in a first round ACST playoff match. Joe LeBlanc taking the lane for box 1 of that one. So Patrick starts out with a 9. Thank you for those just tuning in. Patrick in frame 2. Another nice head pin. Drops 9 this time. Second straight spare leave out of the gate. Leaves only the 3 pin. And he's right on that one. So we have our first mark in this one. This is a 5-string match, and for those of you who are familiar with the ACST format, typically each game is worth 2 points and the total worth 4 points. But that is not the case here today. So in the ACST Playoffs, it is strictly the winner of the 5-game series moves on to the next round. So here's Patrick on the fill. Off head pin, but very good breakup. Gets 6. He does have the 8 pin hiding back there. What was I going to say? So in a regular season match, you can win 1 game and total and lose the match 8-6. But if you do that in a playoff match, you actually win the match because you won total, as I said. And Patrick coming out hot. Second spare already. 35 and a ball. Next door, Joe LeBlanc with his first mark. And that's the E match on 1 and 2. Joe LeBlanc with 19 plus a ball. Patrick on his next fill. Oh, hammer time. 45 plus 2 balls. Patrick, definitely the start he was looking for to start the playoffs on the road here. This is Patrick's second trip to Yarmouth this year, as he came to play Rischitelli in the regular season as well. He won that match, I believe, either 10-4 or 12-2. I'd have to go back and check that. Patrick on the strike. Off head pin, but great leave. Leaves the 1 and the 9. Piece of wood off to the side of the 1. I think it's in play, but Patrick's checking that. I think it is, but feel free to have it checked if you want. Oh, somehow Patrick finding the hole. I didn't think that was possible, but he did. Joe LeBlanc on lane 1. That's a 30 through 1, 3 through 3 rather. And wow, Patrick, almost an identical ball. I know it wasn't identical because he touched the wood that time, but that is a great 71 half nonetheless for Patrick. Nice start, Patrick. Yeah. So here comes Rischitelli, who is a division winner and the number 3 seed overall, defending the home lanes here in Yarmouth. She comes right out on the head pin, but not as much luck with a 4-6-7 split right out of the gate. But always good to come out with a head pin first. Does have a piece of wood, which does make this shot a lot more possible than if she didn't have that wood. As Joe LeBlanc grabs a spare on lane 1, he's got 40 in a ball. Karen for the spare. Walks the camera and gets none. And that's a 9 box, so good out for Karen there. Ties the first box 9-9, but she is up against a flurry of early Patrick marks here, so she's going to want to hopefully get 1 or 2 of herself to kind of stay in it here. Joe LeBlanc with a good setup on lane 1. He's got the 5, 6, 10, but he's got very favorable wood. And shoot that right around the 6 pin. As Karen hits the head pin, oh, and Joe misses the wood, but Karen on the head pin leaves herself the 3, 5, 6 triangle. For the spare, oh, no, little light, didn't get the carry off the wall, but good looking ball for Karen so far. She's just been a little off, and obviously that split in frame 1 too. As Joe LeBlanc wraps up with a 56 half, solid start for both road bowlers in this one today. 10 for Karen, 19. No Tyler at the softball field today.
He was back to play?
No, I didn't see him. He was there last week. I didn't see him this week.
So they're moving into their apartment.
Oh, okay.
They're moving stuff into it.
Gotcha.
So he was up there.
I wasn't sure what the whole status with that whole thing
Yeah, they
was.
just rented a place up in Salem.
Okay. Spread eagle for Karen. 3 head pins and 2 tough breaks.
Moving her stuff over there.
Okay.
She needed to get out of her apartment. So that he can just slowly move stuff up there.
Doug missing his single pit in the first frame.
They,
Yeah. It didn't register the first ball, so just finish the box and then just roll one down the gutter or whatever. Or if you get the spare, quote unquote, just edit it. Karen, tough 4 box there, 3 head pins in a row, 23 through 3. It's very early in this one yet, though, so both of these bowlers have 50 frames to complete. Patrick's only completed 5 and Karen 3, so long way to go in this one. Karen is already trailing 22 after the first 3 frames here. Stays on the head pin and another split. 3rd split in 4 boxes out of the gate. However, the wood is not terrible on this one, as Doug also gets a split. I think if she hits the 3 pin, especially on the right side, she's got a very good chance of hitting this. If she hits it on the left side, the cap might kind of mess with it a little bit, but the right side does look very tempting here. And she gets the left side and not the 6 pin. Good try. And Doug throws his 4 pin over, but not for the spare. Karen for the 10 gets it. So that's a 10 box, 33 through 4. Karen throwing a much better ball than the score shows so far, despite just, besides not pinning well in the 3rd box. But other than that, she's had a very good looking ball so far. Just no luck on the breaks or the marks yet. Here she is in the 5th, trying to get something. Oh, hammer time. What a spot for that one. Up against one of Patrick's only 2 open frames. She does throw a hammer there. That was a big spot for that one. She sits down with 43 plus 2 balls. Now, you deserved a couple of those other ones. I think that diamond one, you just had to be on the right side of the 3 pin, but you still give it a good run there. Yeah. So here comes Patrick on his 71 half. Doug Valancourt trying to get out of his 3rd frame. Does get 4 more for a 6 box. So Doug Valancourt, 24 through 3. He's trailing 6 early, trailing by 6 early. Patrick for the spare. Oh, good hit, and he gets it. Patrick just getting everything right now. Taking advantage of it. Nice head pin off the wall there. Takes out the back row. And here is Doug with a 5 and 8 leave. The wood is slightly tempting off to the right, but I think he's It might bail him out if he misses right, but oh, he dings it off the cap and gets both the 5 and the 8. Patrick on the fill, full, but it might get better, and it does. What looked like an ugly split turns into an 8 fill. He's got to fix that fill. So very fortunate breaking up the split there. It gives him an 8 fill and an 89 through 6. So he's easily pacing into the 120s, possibly more if he keeps making marks here. Patrick for the spare. Drills it perfectly between the 3 and the, the 2 and the 4. Patrick's 5th mark in 7 boxes already here. And Doug Valancourt sits down with a 46. So the road bowler Joe LeBlanc leads the E-match early by 10. And oh, Patrick's first unfortunate break takes out a quarter Worcester 1 fill. But that already gives him 100 through 7 boxes. So nothing wrong with that. No points. It's just total.
It's just total?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's the only difference between the regular season. Because in the regular season, if you win 1 game in total, you still lose the match 8-6. But that's the one difference. If you win 1 game in total today, you go to the next round. And if they tie total, they got to bowl a 6th game.
That's awesome.
She did tie total once. One of her opponents here. You and Ashley tied, yeah. So Patrick with, Patrick with an 8 box, 108 through 8. Joe LeBlanc looking to get out of, he's got 5 pins on the deck for the ball to go here. And Joe takes a rough 5 there. It's Patrick right back on the head pin, leaves himself the 3, 6, and 10 with a nice piece of wood to help cover the 10 in case he doesn't hit the object perfectly. Gives him a little more range on that 3 pin. And, oh, I guess not, though, because he hits the object right on the nose, and the 6 and the 10 do not budge. And Patrick grabs a 10 box, 118 through 9. Joe LeBlanc with a mess of 7 up there, but a good first ball takes this shot quite often. And he might do it. Look at this. He does. He puts it right in the 1-3 and spare for Joe LeBlanc. Patrick to start the 10th. Full. Doesn't get away with it this time. Leaves the spread eagle minus the 2 pin. But he's already at 123, and then whatever else he can do with this box. It is a makeable spare. You just have to hit the 3 pin really precise. And he chops out the 6. Joe on his fill, off target, but gets a very favorable 8. Leaves himself with the 1 and the 9 pin. But big 8 fill for Joe coming off the 5 box. And Patrick ends with an 8 box. So that is a 126 for the visiting Patrick Holland here on the road. Definitely the way you want to start in a playoff match on the road, not knowing what the home bowler is going to do. As Joe misses his. Joe's sitting at 79 through the 7th. Definitely tracking to be over 100 here, as long as he avoids another bad frame. And that's a 9. Karen on her strike, just off target, leaves the 4 horsemen plus the 9 pin. What a hilarious graphic. It's like mocking her for missing the double strike.
Mocked her?
Yeah, it showed the double strike symbol and it said chance missed. What a jerk. So Karen with a 6 on the fill. As LeBlanc leaves 9 with beautiful wood here. It's a very good spare opportunity for him as Karen does get out of her box nicely with a 9. And LeBlanc for a spare in the 10th. He drills it. You know what's super annoying about the Sunday League this year? You would hate as a potential pitcher. So now we're using the girl ball for the girl batters.
Yes.
But the base coaches are like never ready for this.
Yep.
To like do the switch. So
they're the
I'm
ones who
pitching
hold
this
the
year.
ball?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they hold the ball, and then as the pitcher, you're just standing there waiting
Wait,
and
wait,
waiting
wait,
and
yes.
waiting, and then somebody's got to yell at them.
was
And,
it,
oh,
first base coach
sorry.
or third base coach?
So teams have like mixed it up.
They
I've
mixed it up,
seen
okay.
both, but which does make it even more confusing as the
Yeah.
pitcher.
There
But.
you go.
And then same with the home runs, because now the opposite team is supposed to throw in a new guy's ball, but they're never ready for that either. Karen with a beautiful attempt on an ugly split there, does get 4 pins. Oh, I thought Joe was in the 10th. That was his 9th. Okay, so Joe with a 16 in the 9th, 104 through 9. Misses there, but he is already at 110. Both road bowlers coming out hot here in Yarmouth today. And Karen with another 9, 67 through 7. Brett, what's going on, buddy? So Joe checks out with an 8 and a 112 first game. So both Class D and Class E showing out early on the road here. Karen finds the head pin lightly. Another tough split though. Leaves the 4, 5, 6, and 7. Hey, what night is you guys' summer league?
Tuesday, but right now we only have like one team. Two teams.
No, I'm talking about for down there.
Tuesdays.
And is that full?
Yeah, we filled that up in like one day.
I was kind of thinking about it.
10 pin?
Yeah. Karen for the spare. Oh, what an attempt though.
How many people signed up for Pay-Per-View? 2? Oh, 2 teams.
I don't think anybody really like talked about it that much either. I'm guessing it might have been like that.
I thought Paul...
$10 for Karen.
Yeah, they signed up.
And $10 for Doug. So Doug comes out with a 10 and 56 after 6. Karen with 5 red circles and 8 boxes already. Red circle meaning a head pin split. Tough going early, but at least it's a good sign that she's hitting head pins. She misses that one, but gets maybe her best break she's had so far, leaving the 1, 3, and 9. Doug also off head pin with a beautiful, leaving the 1 and the 7. These are the only 2 Yarmouth bowlers in ACST this season, and they both earned at least 1 home playoff match to this point, as you're watching right now. Karen drills it, big spare in the 9th. Definitely doesn't want to go down too much in the first game, so anything she can do here is very helpful. So 87 and a ball for Karen. Doug misses his. Karen in the 10th. Looks good. Right in the pocket. Leaves a triangle. 2, 4, 5. Big 7 fill and a spare leave, though. This will be a big one if she can grab this one. She's at least going to keep this game within 25, so that's not bad after only 1. Is Valancourt with a hammer. Big strike by Doug on lane 2. Strike in the 8th. Karen for the spare in the 10th. Oh, hits the object, but too full. Triangles are tough like that. You often can hit them too full or too light. It's hard to get all 3 of those things. And for 1 more, she gets it. So other than the 4 box, a very good pinning game for Karen. She checks out with a 103. So Patrick Holland with an early 126 to 103 lead. For those of you audibly impaired. So good game by both bowlers. Like I said, just a tough 4 for Karen. But other than that, as Valancourt was 7 on his first strike fill ball, and still was just 7. I think I saw the cap shoot off that. Did you see that? Doug with a 7 fill and an 8 box. So that puts him at 91 through 9. So barring a double strike, he will also be trailing. However, not by too much. And Mark here will definitely keep him in shouting distance too. He's off target there. leave himself a mess, but makeable, especially with the wood there to help out with a couple back pins. Leaves himself the 1, 3, 6, 8, 9, 10. Oh, Doug with a great attempt, drills it. What a shot by Doug Valancourt in the 10th. Big, so he's still going to lose the game, but he's going to keep the deficit much smaller than it would have been. I shouldn't say much smaller. We'll have to wait to see what he gets on his fill. But here's Patrick Holland starting game 2. Off target. Leaves the 1, 2, 4, 9. And Doug with 3 more. That's a 104. So solid start to keep it with an 8. Joe LeBlanc takes an early 8-pin lead in the E match. And as I said earlier, Patrick Holland leads by 23 in their match. And Patrick starts with an 8 box. So like I said, both of these, both of these matches, one bowler will win and one bowler will lose. I know that's stating the obvious. The losing bowler season is over, and the winning bowler moves on to the semifinals in their respective class. Patrick and Karen being Class D, and Joe and Doug being Class E, as Patrick with a hammer in frame 2. The screen was mocking you on your strike fill. Let's see if it does it to him. It showed the double strike symbol, and then it said chance missed. So if he doesn't throw a double, see if it does it. So Patrick with a split leaves the 2, 4, 6. And look at this. It looks like the screen's going to mock him too. Apparently high expectations. Oh no, it's just telling him he got a split. All right, that was a little more kinder than the... Of course, it is set up for 10 pin, so I'm sure doubles happen like all the time, you know?
Oh, that is true. It does show you a 10
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah, whenever like a candle pin only shot comes up, the spare finder shows up, but then it disappears instantly. It's like, I want nothing to do with this. I don't know what to tell you. So Patrick with an 8 fill 8 box there. 8s are wild. He's, whether it be a fill or an open box, he's got all 8 so far this one. Joe LeBlanc also, I believe, started with a hammer in the Class E match. No, he didn't. I'm sorry. I thought he did. I thought he had like a... Oh, must have missed something. Patrick with a split, but makeable. Oh, misses the object, though. So LeBlanc's just trying to get one more of these at least. 7-10 split. Oh, he's going to lose that one, though, in the gutter. That's an 8 box. And Patrick does grab the 10, showing that the leave was there. He just didn't put the second ball where he wanted to. But that's still a solid 10. Gives him 44 through 4. Breaks up his string of 8s. Joe LeBlanc in the 3rd. Nice hit. Oh, same thing Patrick just had, just reverse style. It's Patrick in the 5th. He's the 4 horsemen plus the 9 pin. Joe, same thing as Patrick, just off target on his attempt on that. And Patrick does throw the head pin back over, but he's going to be at least a 51 half and potentially 2 or 3 more here.
Yeah, I know. Oh, where's that? I'm sure it's the list.
And that's a 9 box 53 half for, hey, were you planning to maybe throw any games after today? Are you planning to maybe throw it all today after this?
I didn't bring anything with me, Peter. Though I live 2 minutes down the street.
I'm probably going to try to get a couple in unless my body's like screaming at me. Just because I got my playoff match next Sunday and all my leagues are over, so I got to keep it fresh somehow, you know? Dude, I'm talking to the, I'm not bragging on the stream, I'm talking to ACST prospect Ronnie Holmes when I tell this story. But I was at the Millis Outrun the Bear tournament last week, And I did pretty well, but not enough to place, except for I did throw a triple strike and won $305 for it. So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
And then I had 9 drops on each side of the double. The triple, I had a 9 drop. So it was almost like the best 5 boxes of my life.
It's $1,585.
Oh, we finally got a count on that? So the only reason I got only 305 is because that was like a tournament-specific triple strike pool.
Okay.
So 61 people threw in $5 out of a potential 88, so I got all their $5.
Is it the first person or is it?
Well, no, I would have had to split it if somebody else, yeah.
Okay.
So it was kind of funny. Once I was eliminated from the tournament, I stuck around just basically guarding against somebody else throwing a triple. One guy almost did too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I still would have got like $150 out of it, but I wanted the 305.
Oh, yeah. What is that tournament?
So they basically, you're bowling, it's awesome. I love the format. So you're bowling against, it's like string by string elimination, but you're bowling against the whole entire field. So
Oh, okay.
So each game they knock out from the bottom, like the bottom 20 or so. They say each game how many they're knocking out. As Karen for the, oh, I thought she was gonna get it. Wow, the 7-pin says no thanks. So yeah, you don't have to be good early. You just have to be average, and then you can just like skate along to like the 6th or 7th game. Yeah. And then if you do have a bad game early, there's like buyback opportunities. It's like a poker tournament. You can kind of buy back in. So for the first 3 games, you can buy back as much as you want. But then the advantage is if you don't buy back in the first 3 games, you get to keep a buyback in your pocket for the rest of the tournament. So that's the key, is keeping your buyback till game like 6 or 7. So what happened to me was I had to use a buyback in game 2, and then I still made it to game 9, which was pretty awesome. But then I had a bad one, so at least if I didn't have to use that buyback in game 2, I still would have had one, yeah. And the buyback cost goes up $5 a game, but it starts at like $20 and then goes up $5 a game. But they generate a lot of prize money in that thing. Millis. So Karen for a spare here, going for the 1-2. Will she? Yes, she gets this one. All right. So big comeback after not getting the spare that I thought she was going to get in frame 2. She grabs that one. Doug Valancourt also starting with a spare and a 2-fill, so he starts with 12. But he's only up against the 42 half for Joe LeBlanc, so good chance for him to crawl back in. The devastating part, though, so obviously that was my highest string of the day, was the one with the triple.
Yep.
There was 2 other pools, tournament high single and tournament high single with handicap. I missed the handicap game by 3 and the scratch one by 6.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So if I got both of those, I would have walked out of there without placing with like $850. Yeah.
That would have been nice.
Yeah, it would have been. So Karen with a tough half Lister ball there. Not the one she was looking for, but nonetheless. And Doug with a tough 4 box. So both home bowlers struggling early in half 2 here. Karen, I thought was going to be back in the hole, but she missed by enough to get the corner 2. So Doug, what looked like a promising start, he quickly kind of erased with the tough 4 there, but plenty of time to recover. And Karen for the out does get a 9 out of that, so that could have been much worse. That gives her 39 after 4. She will need a mark to keep pace in the first half. She's currently down 5 pins and up against the 9 box. John. Karen in the 5th, off target again, takes out the left wing of the squared eagle. It's Doug with a good piece of wood there to make that happen, but he really had to be right where the wood met the 7 pin, so he missed a shot there. Karen on target, but that's a tough one. Gotta find the target in a really optimum space when you have that leave. So Doug with a 9 box, 25 through 3. As Karen finishes with a 7 box, 46 half. Doug does have a 1-pin lead in this game, 25-24. And gives himself a really favorable 1-10. He was hoping that wood would stay frozen up against the 1. It does not, but he still has a wide range here. He does just pretty much have to hit the 1 pin. And he does. That's a big spare by Valancourt. So Doug with a 2-pin lead through 4 completed and a fill ball coming.
Have a seat, John.
Patrick to start the second half with a split. Spread eagle minus the 2-pin. As Valancourt grabs 6 on his fill, 41 through 4. So Holland, good attempt there. I was gonna say, oh, Doug with a sits on another mark. So big first half, bouncing back from that 4 box from Doug Valancourt. Nice recovery from that 4, Doug.
Good stop.
As Patrick grabs yet another 8. I was gonna say, Patrick finding some of those splits that were biting Karen in the first game here. Both bowlers hitting a lot of head pins in this D matchup.
I know. Yep. It's really tough for us here. Finish good.
Half Worcester for Holland. It just occurred to me with Holland starting with H, if you got a lot of half Worcesters, that would kind of be a cool but cruel nickname, half Worcester Holland. Because at least you have a nickname, but like, who wants that nickname, you know? He is. Joe LeBlanc, oh, with a good attempt there, but carried the horseman, but not the back pin. As Holland checks the 10 box, that's 71 through 7. And a 9 box for Joe. And Holland with the reverse triangle, but he does have what looks like pretty good wood here. I was worried about that piece on the left rolling out and giving a weird angle, and it still might be a little weird. I'm not sure how he's probably going to want to hit that left piece down towards the right tip somewhere. If he's too far left, I don't know if he'll carry all 3. And yeah, he needed to get on that left wood to really have a chance there.
Why didn't you put the kids on these? So they just in lane up next to
Well, they did at least give him the buffer on 5.
He's got more time in.
And I mean, I can't really fault the bowling alley too bad. You got 4 bowlers taking up 4 lanes.
I know.
They only have 4 other ones,
Yeah,
you know?
we could have put him on 8.
Yeah, start from that way and work their way down. Patrick in the 9th, another head pin and another split. Leaves himself the 8 and the 10. However, that wood's not bad. I think there's range for him to hit that 8 pin and get the ball on the wood also. And that's exactly what he does. Beautiful shot by Patrick Holland. Beautiful. So that gives Patrick 90 in a ball going into the 10th. Patrick filling in the 10th, hammer time. What a way to finish by the road bowler. That gives him 110 plus 2 balls to finish this one. That was explosive. Joe LeBlanc with a near spear opportunity, but does not get it. And it's going to be his call. He calls it no. So that's a 9 for LeBlanc, 70 through 8. And Patrick with his first of 2 fill balls, going for the double. Does not. Leaves himself a diamond plus the 7 pin. And that's a 9. So a solid finish for a 119 for Patrick Holland.
Nice game.
It looked like he might open the door a little bit. He quickly sort of closes here, giving him a 119 and a very solid 245 through his first 2 games. That's some A-level bowling right there. Meanwhile, Joe LeBlanc in his 9th frame was 70 after 8. He's hoping to get as much as he can here because Valancourt's showing some signs of life in that one. And here comes Karen Rischitelli sitting on a 46.5, trying to do her best to not fall behind too much early. Gets a nice break there in the 6 pin, leaves herself at 4.7. This is going to be a big half for Karen to either catch up to that 119 or at least stay close to it.
That's it.
She was already trailing by 23 and then potentially more if she doesn't have a big half here. And she's going to lose that one. As Joe LeBlanc takes out the 1-5. Oh, worst breaking candle pin right there, the 1-5. It's not even a spread eagle.
No.
You have one job to do on your first ball, you do it, and then you get that. So LeBlanc with a tough game 2 here is going to be somewhere around the mid-80s. He's at 84 plus whatever he can clean up here. Karen trying to bounce back. Another nice leaf here. Leaves herself the left wing of the eagle. Anywhere on the 2 pin should carry this one. The wood is favorable, but she does have to hit the 2 pin. And she gets it. Big spare by Karen there on the 7th. Doug filling his spare, gets 6. Doug, you're going to have to fix that. Karen on the fill, finds the front one. Oh, what a terrible freaking lead that is. The 4, 5, 6, 7. Sounds easier on paper because it's 4 numbers together, but let me tell you, the chances of making this have to be less than 1%. I guess you just do what she did. You hit the 4 pin and hope for a nice roll off the wall, but that didn't happen here. As Doug gets a 10 box and has a solid 67 through 6. That was only 6. Okay, I see what I did. Sorry, I'm talking to myself here. Doug with a nice off-head pin leave there. Oh, the birthday party, yeah, that's what it was. Karen with another nice head pin break here. Breaks up the split, leaves herself with a 2 and a 4. Basically the same as the spare she made. Oh, it's about to get rambunctious. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they just took off of their balls.
Look at this.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Don't touch those. Nope. Stay on your own lanes.
All right, stuff is getting crazy here. Oh my God, they're just gonna take over the whole place.
No, that lane's not even on.
Yeah, this is, I used to bowl my matches out of Yarmouth. This is why I no longer do, is what you're starting to witness. The birthday party has no regulation to it. They're just kind of taking over the joint.
Hey, lady.
Somebody's going to have to get the staff involved.
Jesus Christ, wake up. And they just took the balls from the skipper.
Yeah.
Look at these people coming up. What the fuck are they doing?
They don't know. That's the, like I said.
None of the lanes are even on.
Jeez.
This guy must be pissed.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah. There's no way here.
And he's paying by the hour, too. Let's see the timer up there. So Karen with a 9 box. Sorry, I've lost complete focus on what's going on here, and I'm not even one of the bowlers.
Oh, now they're grabbing the 10 bag balls. Jesus Christ, he's going to throw it down the candle bin lane. What the fuck is
Oh my God. So we just had a 10-pin ball go down a candle pin lane. Employee is just kind of looking at his phone. 3 10-pin balls down the candlepin lane now. Spare by Valancourt in the 9th. I'm sorry, I've lost complete focus here. Let's say Karen finishes with a 98. Hey, Patrick, I need to catch up on some of these scores real quick. I've totally lost focus.
No worries.
Hey, that fine goes to Ronald Holmes of Yarmouth, Massachusetts. Okay, Patrick, you guys are good. 119.98, got it. Yep. I was watching the circus.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so that's a 9. 6, 7, 9, 5. Doug, give me a second. Okay, so here comes Patrick to start game 3. I think we're hopefully back on track here. So Patrick Holland with a 245 to 201 44-pin lead through 2. As he starts off with a spare leave here in the first. And Doug Valancourt wins his second game by 17, giving him a 206 to what?
It was 104. Right? 104?
You had 104?
I finished 2 104s.
Okay. Did you have a 10 in that last box?
Said 104.
Can you check on the thing just to go to the stats? Wait till he finishes the box. Yeah, it will. It'll tell you your score. It'll tell you your score. That's all I want. You gotta do it on the other lane. Hit the right arrow. Oh, my bad, my bad. Sorry. So. Alright, so thank you for that, Ronnie. Doug with a pair of 104s gives him 208. Because I think Patrick got a spare there. And Joe LeBlanc with his 85 second game goes to 197. So Valancourt has an 11-pin lead in his match. And Patrick Holland with a 44-pin lead, 19 plus a ball in his match. Oh, they're already gone? Where'd they all go? They're back to the party, huh? Wow, they left as ferociously as they came in. Patrick, right on the head pin, leaves himself the 4-6. They just decided to do a takeover?
The lane wasn't even on. I thought it was.
Wow, that was something. I've seen a lot of chaos in this place, and that was kind of a new one. The way they just came in like a hurricane. And like, it was almost like they talked about it out back, like, hey, this is what we're gonna go do. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they executed. And the kid at the desk was just staring at his phone, or else it wouldn't have lasted nearly as long as it did. Patrick, way off target there. Bob Lee would call a wild pitch. And that's a 9 box, 45 through 4 for Patrick. Working on another plus 50 half here. Every half he's thrown today, including second halves, has been over 50. So it's definitely how you want to be on the road. Joe LeBlanc open through 3, looking at 28 through 3. Down 11 in his Class E match. Patrick right in the pocket. Is he going to get them all? Yes. That's a strike for Holland. 55 through 2 balls. And here comes Karen needing to find a big half here, or else this one's going to start to get away from her. Karen on the 10 pin, drops 9. Everything but the 7 pin. Does have wood pointing that way off to the right, but I don't think she's going to try to use that. I think she's going to go directly out this one. Joe LeBlanc, meanwhile, 3 head pin splits in a row, I'm noticing. And Karen right on it. Big spare to start there. Like I said, she's in need of a big half and to start gaining some pins here. It's no fault of her own. Her opponent's just smashing, bowling at a Class A level right now through the first 25 boxes. Karen on the fill. Oh, half Worcester. See that ball fading away quickly. Joe LeBlanc, meanwhile, off target, but leaving himself a solid 1-8-9. Very makeable shot. As Karen attempts to clean up her 8 remaining pins from the first ball. And that's a 9-box 46 half for Joe LeBlanc. Karen gets out with an 8, 20 through 2. Oh, sorry, LeBlanc had one more ball, my bad. So 47 half for LeBlanc, which is a very solid number for no marks. That's exceptional pinning right there. Karen in the third, off target, leaves herself the 1, 2, 4, 8, 10. Valancourt, meanwhile, comes out right in the pocket, leaves himself a wiggling 6-pin and a plank in front. And he gets it. Wow, he almost spun the wood around it, but he got it. As Karen grabs another 8-box, 28 through 3.
What time will this be?
Typically they run about 90 to 90 minutes, a little bit more. So they started, I think, at like 3:45. So probably like 5:15, 5:30. Karen right in the pocket. Leaves herself the 5 and the 8 with wood. That orange pin's rolling up, though. I could see that complicating this. Dang, the wood's a decent angle, but I could also see it not going just the same. So interesting to see if she just involves the orange pin and pushes straight back or tries to avoid it. The orange pin gets involved and the 8-pin survives. Meanwhile, Valancourt with a 3-fill 7-box, 20 after 2. That's 10 for Karen, 38. So definitely looking to match Patrick's mark here. She's already down 7 in the game, 51 in the match, and up against a strike. So big box here to slow down Patrick's momentum. Oh, can she match the hammer? Almost. Everything but the 4-pin. Doug going for the 9-pin spare, gets everything but the 10. Big spare for Karen here, potentially. And she is right on it. Okay, so she more or less hangs with Patrick. He does have an extra fill ball, but she is down 7 at the halfway point. So at the halfway point of the Class D match, Patrick Holland is a 51-pin match lead, and both bowlers on fills. Patrick with 2 balls, Karen with 1. And Doug with a 9, so that's 29 through 3. And a good first ball there by Doug. Leaves himself the left wing. Oh, is he even going to get the 7-pin? Yes, just a 2-4 2-pinner for Doug here. Good chance for him to start building up his lead. Is Patrick going for the double? Leaves himself a 3 and 5. He's trying to see if that wood's going to get in his way or not. I think it's going to be close. I think he can plow right through that. And he misses to the left. So that's a 9 fill, 64 half. Doug gets an 8 box for a 37. So Doug and Joe are tied through 4 boxes. Doug up against a 10. And Patrick gets a 10. Doug on the head pin. Right side spread eagle plus the 4 pin. So Joe will make up a couple of the 11 pins here. He'll make up 3 of them actually. So Joe LeBlanc cuts into his 11-pin deficit, grabs 3 back in that half, leads this game 47-44. And Patrick Holland with yet another 2-pinner spare opportunity. And drills it. That's a spare for Patrick in the 7th.
I think mixing it up first is yeah. So they're talking about doing the same thing in Princeton, I believe. And they came up with the teams to make everything even. And I looked at my team and I go, I will not bowl any one of these 2 games.
Patrick, hammer time in the 3rd. He is starting to take control of this one. He is well on a 600 pace through the first 3 games. And that puts him at 104 plus 2 balls through 8 in this one.
I only had 103 average. Much better on Thursday.
Joe LeBlanc 10 box, 57 through 6. Patrick for the double. Almost leaves the 4 pin. He is just burying head pin after head pin here. And right on it for the spare. So Holland continues to cook. He's looking maybe into a 130 game here with a good fill. Heck, another couple marks, we might be on a 400 watch. 155 would get him 400. He would need a double strike actually for that, but he could touch 380 to 390. That's a 6 fill. 130 through 9. LeBlanc continuing to pin well with a 10 and a 9 to come out in this one. One of his first off targets in a pretty long time. But he will be in the high 130s here, at least 136. Yeah, he absolutely is. He's on over a 120 average pace so far right now. So that is a 9 box and a 139 by Patrick Holland. And that gives him a 384 through the first 3 games in this one. That's tremendous, especially considering this is a Class D match, folks. Class D. Nice series, Patrick. Oh, that was only an 8? I thought that was 9. That's what I thought, yeah. Alright, so for once I was right. That was a 9.
So you're 1 for 2.
Yeah, 1 for them batting 500. Hey, some sports that would be Hall of Fame worthy. Yeah. Oh man, I went 3 for 5 today with the game, but I couldn't get anything consecutive. It was hit, out, hit, out, hit. So frustrating.
How's your team?
Terrible. I knew we were gonna be. They all left. Only me, Courtney, and the captain are remaining from last year. The only part I'm sad about is none of them said, "Hey, you want to maybe come join us on this new team we're going to?" I was like hung out to dry in that whole deal.
Good fill, Karen. Good fill. I've seen you do that a couple times. That one that just bounced.
I like the
Just
bouncer.
drops right out of your hand. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah. So a tough 3-fill 4 box for Joe there, but it looked like he might be starting to put up a good number. He kind of possibly took himself out of right there. Karen grabbing an 8 box. 62 through 6. So this one's starting to get away from the home bowler in the D match. Karen's definitely looking for marks and looking for them soon.
So these guys, they're in the lead.
On the head pin, but that's a split. Spread eagle plus right side spread eagle plus the 7 pin. There's Joe with a tough leave here. 5, 7, 8.
Yeah. Dude, what's the furthest away you have to travel?
I had to go to East Brookfield this year, which is like,
Where the hell is that?
yeah, exactly. He had to go there a few times. It's like a 2-hour, 15-minute ride from here. Yeah, but they're trying to maybe start a Western
Yeah, you said
conference
that.
next year,
Yep.
so that would take places like that out of this. So,
Come on.
so without some of these crazy northern places, the furthest is maybe like Millis, which is like an hour 25 from here.
It's an easy drive.
Yeah. A lot of people do their thing out of Millis. Obviously, they get 22 candlepin lanes.
Right.
You know?
So that's pretty nice.
Karen in the. Oh, will she get them all? Oh, she wiggled the. Oh, she's gonna get it. Wow, the 7 pin was an absolute stubborn mess on that one. I thought she had a strike, but the 7 pin says no. So Karen for the spare, she gets it. So spare in the 8th. There's one mark. She's gonna start to need a whole bunch more here, but maybe she can finish with 3 in a row and quell the damage a little bit. Karen on the fill, in the pocket. Oh, tough break. Leaves the 4, 5, 7, 8. 6 fill. Oh, hold on. Make it a 7 fill. That wood's strong enough to take out the 5 pin, which does change the dynamic of this shot. It turns it into a spare leave all of a sudden. Karen for the spare. Oh, second time she's cherried a triangle. Wow. There's all the fortune going the visitors bowler's way in the D match so far. I mean, Patrick is throwing a great ball, not taking anything away, but Karen definitely not getting some of those breaks. That's a 9 box. 97. So she does trail by 33 through 9 completed, 77 in the match, and up against the 9 box. So obviously anything here would be helpful. As Doug trying to clean his way out of a bad box, gets 7. Doug's up 11, but right now he's giving a few of them back. Yeah, they're in the 3rd, yeah. Starting with a spare, too. So Karen will be open. It will be her high game of the day so far, but she is going to lose another significant amount of pins here. So that's an 8 for a 105, giving her a 306 through 3 completed, and Patrick a 78 pin lead with 2 games to go.
Pretend you're bowling me.
So Doug grabs an 8 box. So Doug is bailing out with some of these third balls here. 67 through 8. He is guarding an 11 pin lead through 2 games, but unless he hits a mark, he's going to give some of those back in this one. So Doug in the 9th. Nice ball. Gives himself the 2 and the 4. 78. Patrick comes out with a 5-10, but this ball, just every ball seemingly hitting the head pin and exploding for it. Like when you were flipping your hand up just now, I can see your hand, but that's it. So Doug with a 9, 76 through 9. Patrick loses 1, so that's a 9. As good as Patrick's been bowling, he's never been able to conquer all 10 pins in the first box. He started games with 3 9s and an 8, but clearly after that point, he takes over. So Doug, for a big spare opportunity here, he can potentially not lose pins, but he's going to miss. So Joe LeBlanc will cut into the 11-pin lead. We're going to have a tight 1 through 3 games in the E-match. Patrick with yet another head pin, another split. 3, 6, 7, 8, 10. As Doug grabs it on his third ball. It still counts for 2, though, 86. So Doug gives about half his lead away. So 2. 86. All right, so Joe LeBlanc has a 289 through 3 games, and the home bowler Doug Valancourt with a 294. So a 5-pin lead for the home bowler Valancourt.
It seems to work pretty good.
Did you hear that, Doug? Doug's up by 5.
That's it. Wow, it's a tight match.
No, he's okay.
It's okay. At least you counted. This is his worst, though.
Oh, a half Worcester conversion for Patrick Holland. It is Patrick Holland's world today, folks. He is starting to wonder who his round 2 opponent's going to be. Oh, that was a 10 in the second box. I missed that. Patrick on the spare for the beautiful Worcester conversion. 9, 10 maybe? No, but another 19 box, 38 through 3. As Joe LeBlanc filling his spare in box 1. The Class E match is definitely looking like it might be a tight one. He fills it with 1 though. That's an 11 in the first. Holland analyzing the wood here. And he drills it. So Holland off and running again. He has not had a half below 50. This is going to be his 7th half of the day and his 7th half above 50. So he is just unstoppable today. Like I said, bowling at a Class A level, no question. So like a 560 to 580 would even be a good Class A number. Okay. He's going to soar past that. Patrick, stop me if you've heard it before. Another head pin and another 9 fill. 57 through 4.
This thing's gonna smoke here.
Oh, Patrick grabs it. So 67 and a ball. Another tremendous half by Patrick. Les Karen can start to find a career type of game here. This match is pretty much in the books.
These plays are awesome. He's right on. Just great.
Honestly, I love wood, but I might stick with
Karen,
Come on,
hammer
there we
out of the
go.
gate.
Good start.
All right, maybe a last sign of life here. It's going to be tough because even if she starts bowling great, it's going to be hard to make up 78 the way Patrick's throwing. But hey, that's a great way to start. So a couple more of those, and you never know. Double would be absolutely huge here to start. And she gets 4. Still another ball in the fill here. Joe LeBlanc, meanwhile, tough first ball, hoping to work his way through this box. And that's an 8 fill, 18 in the first, so she does have a 9-pin lead early in the string. However, soon she's going to be up against 10, 19, 19, spare pending, so she's going to need to get right back on it here. That's a 5 for LeBlanc, 31 through 4. So it looked like it might start off with some promise for LeBlanc with a spare. It's quickly turned into a half where he needs 9 just to make 40. So good opportunity for Valancourt if Joe doesn't mark here. Karen, oh, on the Brooklyn side, leaves the 4, 5, 7. Fun fact, on the other match, Doug Valancourt actually has a daughter named Brooklyn. That's funny. As soon as I said Brooklyn side, I'm like, hey, that's Doug's kid. Karen, oh, tries to use the wood and get tricky with it, which might have been the only real way, to be honest, but only gets the 4 pin. So LeBlanc for a spare here. No, so he does need a good ball here just to get himself a 40. So a good opportunity for Valancourt to maybe start to build that lead back up a little bit as Karen gets a 9, 36 through 3. That's a 39.5 for LeBlanc, so good start, tough rest of the half for LeBlanc there. As Karen grabs 5. So Holland back in solid lead of this game will be up over 10 in game 4 and starting to close in on a 100-pin lead in this match. As Karen grabs a 9, 45 through 4. Karen Bolin, all right, as Valancourt with a big strike to start. Karen Bolin, all right on her ACST average pretty much, and against an average opponent, that might even be enough for at least get a close match going. But again, Patrick Holland bowling in easily an A level today. Right now, pacing definitely to be over 600, unless he really falls off. And Karen, even a 4-5 with no wood, just no luck at all. So yeah, like I said, this match really starting to look like it's going Patrick's way today. And big opportunity for Doug here to start with a 20 box and another fill. And oh, I thought he was gonna, but he gets a 19, still a good start. Takes an early 8-pin lead. And he's gonna gain more in the second frame. As Karen grabs another steady 54.5. It's just not gonna be enough today, unfortunately. And Doug with a 10 and a 29. So Doug up 12 early in his game, increasing his match lead to 17, and up against a 9, a 5, and an 8. So
Shoot me a text when you're done. I'll probably come back down board if you're gonna go.
I'm getting a little achy, so I was gonna like call it
So
on the spot.
No, either way.
You're close?
Yeah, I live
All
5
right.
minutes.
All right.
All right.
Sounds good.
If not, I don't care. Either way.
Okay, sounds good.
Did you say no? I'm good with that too. All right, Karen, good luck with the rest of your match. Yep, no problem. See you later.
Oh, nice 10 by Valancourt there, 39 through 3. So solid start as Patrick starts off with a 4 fill and another spare. Patrick Holland right now looking like he's going to be the one to beat in D-South. Even though he's the 6th seed, he did have the 3rd best record and I believe the 3rd highest average. To who? And Patrick on the head pin again, 7. And that was 4 spares in a row for Patrick here. It's probably going to end here unless, well, I guess he could slam that wood and get a good roll, but if he doesn't do that, that'll end his streak of 4 in a row here. As Doug's just trying to avoid a 2 box. Doug with 8 pins and 1 ball to go. Big ball for him. He does get 5 more for a 7. Big out by Valancourt. So Doug does lead the game by 15 and the match by 20. Up against an 8 box to finish the half here. And Patrick going for it again. Gets 1 more for an 8. 96 through 7. Doug just missing that one. Going for the 10. Solid 56 half out of Valancourt though. Grabs 17 pins to add to his, make it a 22 pin lead in the E match. Hey, solid half, Doug. Way to get out of that potential 2 box. Holland with a 10 box. 106. He is just making everything today. 106. He is going to be over 500 through 4 games, which, like I've said a few times, is definitely A-level bowling. Is not only A-level, it's good A-level bowling. Like, there's many A-level bowlers who would probably be losing this match right now to Patrick. As a former A-level bowler myself, I can clearly say I would definitely probably be losing this match right now. As Joe LeBlanc comes out with a spare, big spare for LeBlanc. Patrick plays it high where he should, and he gets it. He's a couple marks away from this being renamed Patrick Holland Day. On the head pin, stop me if you've heard that one before. 6 fill, 122 through 9. Needs one more for a 130 game. LeBlanc with a what he thought was going to be a punch for a 2 or 3 fill turns into a 7 fill. Maybe even a chance here, but he misses the head fill. And Patrick with a 130 game, which brings him to 514 through 4 games. This has to be either near or a high for D South this year. 514. So here comes Karen sitting on a 54 half as LeBlanc gets a 10. This is crazy. I'd be getting destroyed right now. Karen on the head pin. Leaves herself a 4-7 with a plank. And she's a little wide to the right there. So 64 in the 6 for Karen, who is going to need double and triple strikes at this point. Joe LeBlanc with a 9 box, 75 through 8. So LeBlanc with a good half so far. He's got, what has he got? 26 through 3, so 36 through 3 so far. So he's giving himself a chance to get back in this one. Another mark would definitely be helpful. Karen with a nice head pin there and another mess of the 5, 6, 7, 10. Second or third variation of this she's had today. Her first ball just not working the way Patrick's has been. As Joe gets a 7 box, 82 through 9. A lot of good balls and good attempts by Karen today, but this match has been very one-sided. That's an 8 for an 80. As LeBlanc trips the head pin through the back, leaves himself to 2, 4, and 8. Big spare opportunity here. Joe beat him too, didn't he? I think Joe beat him. Because that's the only reason Joe was able to get back in that division, I think. I think it was close. It might have been 8-6 though. I think it was close. Karen with a spare. 90 and a ball through 9. Not the first time, Patrick, but the second time. When they played each other late, I think Joe got the second matchup. Yeah. So they were saying, when you were bowling your doubleheader there with Maurice and all them, they were saying that Joe was on a 15-match winning streak or something. So big spare for Doug to open up half 2. So Joe LeBlanc with a 90 game. Doug does have to keep his foot on the gas here as Karen gets a 10 and a 108 So Karen, like I said, bowling decent for her average and for Class D type numbers this year, but she is down exactly 100 going into the last game, 514 to 414. So if Karen does what, it's going to be one for the record books. Down exactly 100. Doug with a 5-fill-9 box. Yeah, with a lot of your matches, you'd be like winning a couple games and be right in it right now. You're just up against what might be the best series anybody's thrown in D all year. There's many A-level people that would be losing this match right now. He's got 514 through 4. Doug, oh, good attempt by Doug, but the head pin goes sideways and not back. And that's a 10 box. So for the first time all day, Patrick gets all 10 pins in the first frame, but it has not mattered because after the first frame, he has been lights out today. As Doug rubs a 9 and has 89. So Doug will build on his lead here. He was up by 5. Yeah, it was 5 coming into this game. Yeah. So Doug's still down 1 just in terms of the total, but now with that 6, he's up 5. So now he's up 10 in the match, and then whatever he can do for the rest of this frame and the 10th frame will be his lead. Patrick with another 10, perfect through 2. 10-10. Doug trying to avoid the 6th frame here, does. He gets an 8, so those third balls are big in situations like that. Those are 2 more pins that he wouldn't have had if he threw a bad ball, and that could be the difference. So Doug currently up by 12 in his match, plus whatever he can get in this 10th frame here. Doug leaves the 5-9. This would be big for him to grab a 10 frame spare and fill it up. That would give him a nice cushion going into game 5. It's Patrick opened in the first 3. First time all day, I believe. Yep, that's the first time all day Patrick is not marked in the first 3 frames. But he, I was going to say he stays perfect, but he does not. 29 through 3. 9 for Doug, 106, Doug's best game of the day, brings him to exactly 400. About 215. So in the Class E match, Doug Valancourt picks up 16 more pins and gives himself a 21-pin lead going into the last game. So Joe LeBlanc does have to beat Doug by at least 21 pins in the last game here. As Patrick goes open again. Here's the scores for the Class E match. That's a 10 for Patrick, so good pinning here. No marks, but he's only left 1 pin up through 4 frames. Joel Blank, with a season on the line, comes out almost with a hammer. Gets a wiggling 10-pin. Like I said, he does need to win this game by at least 21. If he wins by exactly 21, him and Doug will have to bowl a 6th game. Come on, 21 to tie. Yeah. 400 to 379. Wow, what a bad break on the wood there for Joe. Not the time for that. Yeah, that's a no mark, 49 half for Patrick. So even without a mark, he still gets his way to 49. Tremendous half. Karen coming up, basically needing about 100 half at this point, trailing by exactly 100 coming in, 514 to 414. Oh, LeBlanc with another big first ball. Pin goes right between the 4 and the 7, but does give him a spare leave. Karen, gotta have it. Leaves the 5. Joe misses again, so 2 opportunities. The first one wasn't really his fault, I feel like. The wood kind of screwed him, but the second one he does miss. And he does get the 10 though, so 9 and a 10 to start for LeBlanc, 19 through 2. Tough split, 5, 6, 10. LeBlanc could break off the head pin, so he's getting the opportunities, but to win by 21, he's gonna need to at least get a couple marks. As Karen, oh, valiant effort, doesn't carry the 10. And Joe again, wow, I thought he had that one. How did that not go? Oh, Joe LeBlanc again screwed on a spare. I honestly do not know how that one did not go. And wow, and the roadblock for the 10. So terrible, terrible breaks for the visiting bowler LeBlanc here. It's Karen sitting on a couple of 10s. Drop 6. Another bad break for LeBlanc. He's throwing the type of balls to put him back in this match here, but just not getting the fortune is not going his way so far. But still enough time to win this game by 21 for him. That's a 9. So both bowlers coming out with 10-10-9. Exactly the same game so far for Rischitelli and Holland. And LeBlanc gets one more there. Oh, he's got another ball left. LeBlanc with an 8, 36 through 3. Leaves herself the 3 and the 10. that's an 8. So 37 for Karen, down 2 in the game, 102 in the match. And LeBlanc with a 9-box 45 half. So, not over yet in the E-match. LeBlanc does need to win by 21, but no guarantee that Doug gets at least 45. So LeBlanc could cut in a few to the 21 potentially. Oh, I am getting 8. Hey Ronnie, if you're listening, no go on the bowling for me. I'm getting, my back is like telling me no way right now. So if you heard that, just comment, and then I won't text you. But if I don't see a comment, then I'll text you, like we agreed upon. Oh man, like, yeah. Sitting on this stool did not do me any favors. As Karen gets a 9 and a 46 half. And here comes Holland to finish off his game and his first round victory on the road. Doug with a 7 to start and a split here. So like I said, LeBlanc can still cut into the 21 with that 45 first half. Holland with pretty much a layup for a spare here. Just basically has to contact that wood anywhere. I would say he'll do it. Doug with an 8. Holland with a spare. So 15 for Valancourt through 2. Doug on that pin again and another split. Leaving the door a little bit ajar for Joe LeBlanc here. So this basically does the job of that, so not really. I don't even know if we submitted the same way. I'll have to find out about that. Hey, does anybody watching know if the home bowler submits these scores the same way as the regular season, or do we just kind of like post it up on the group? If anybody's watching and knows the answer to that, that just came up. As Holland gets a 7 fill and an open. He's going to be well over 600 in this. He only needed an 86 game for 600, and he's going to do that. So Doug with another 7, 22 after 3. Like I said, the E-match could get tight here down the stretch. Doug's by no means safe yet. He's up 21, but he's losing this half so far. Another split for Valancourt at the most...
Game 5?
Yeah, at the wrong time. He does have some wood behind that 4-pin, but actually I take that back. 3 headpin splits in a row for Valancourt. As Holland, right in the pocket, but leaves the 4-7-8-10. Ball looked better than that.
Yeah, the prescription is different.
32 after 4 through Doug. You will need a mark to keep pace. Anything less than a mark, he's going to start to give back some of the 21. And he does go half Worcester, so. Patrick Holland did make this shot earlier in the other match. Doug, productive ball though, is, definitely when you start off with that half Worcester, you just want to avoid like a 5 or 6 type box. He's already got himself to 8, maybe 9 or 10. There's Patrick with 2 boxes to go in his first round matchup here. And Doug gets a 40 half. So going into the final half of the E match, Doug has a 16-pin match lead. So the door is still open for Joe LeBlanc with a couple of marks here. Patrick gets a spare. It's just a matter of the final numbers at this point, as Patrick's going to be over 620.
Karen's not.
Like we said earlier, Karen pulling on her average and a decent numbers for the Class D this year. Just ran into a freight train today. So that's a 5 fill, 99. So a 7 box for Patrick, and he's got himself a 620 series. The way he's been going, he's probably just going to make the spare, go for the 630 though. Nope, but he does clinch the 620. So that's a 124 average right there for 5 games. And a 10 and a 109 to complete a tremendous 623. Nice job, Patrick. The A's and B's are feeling lucky they didn't have to play you today. Okay, so let's see. So Joe LeBlanc had an 8. A nice first 10 pinball there, but again, LeBlanc just not getting the breaks off the head pin this game at the worst possible time to not be getting breaks. Karen needs a 211 this game to tie. No, sorry, 209. 209. So that is a 10. So she can still get 120. So that's it. It is mathematically over. Patrick Holland has clinched his ticket to round 2. Even all strikes at this point will not do it. So Patrick Holland on to the semifinal of D South to play. We don't know, because I think this is the first D South matchup. And just as I say, all strikes won't do it. She does get the first one. So hey, why not, right? Let's see if maybe she can at least win a game here, lose by less than 100. She'll need a 110 game, and she's on her way to potentially doing that. It was a tremendous season for Karen Rischitelli in her ACST debut. She won a division, got the 3 seed, had a lot of memorable matches along the way, some big wins. Going for the double! Oh, maybe her 4th variation of this jump today. She's had a lot of this. It is what it is. So Joe with a 7 box, 60. Joe probably does want to grab a mark or 2 at this point. As Karen gets an 8 fill. We'll need another mark to beat Patrick this game. But again, that's just all academic at this point. Patrick has already clinched his ticket. So 82 for Karen. LeBlanc. LeBlanc with an 8. Two big frames for LeBlanc here. If he can find a mark or 2, it will put some slight pressure on Doug. But the way he's looking right now, Doug will just be able to pin his way out. But LeBlanc does give himself a makeable one here. He's obviously just going to want to bury that wood on the right, probably around the red line. And I could see him getting all 4 of those. He does have the 9 pin sleeping back there, for those of you who might not be able to see it. This is a big shot for LeBlanc at this point in the match. Karen gets an 8, 90 through 9. LeBlanc for the spare. Oh, does not get either corner. Wow. I think he needed to be lower on that, like more red line-ish. But he hit the one that he needed to give it a chance. And that's an 8 box. So, like I said, without a mark here, Doug should be able to just pin his way out. Karen looking to grab this last one for 100. LeBlanc with a 1.378. And Karen does get her 10. So a solid 5.14 series. Unfortunately, she ran into a 6.23. So it was not enough as LeBlanc again just couldn't get it. So Patrick Holland wins the quarterfinal matchup 6.23 to 5.14. He moves on to the second round. Karen's season is complete. Successful first year though. Anybody who makes the ACST playoffs, it was a solid year. So 84 for LeBlanc, which means Doug just needs a 64 game to clinch this. So yeah, he just needs to avoid 3 and 4 boxes basically. So Doug just needing 24 more pins over 5 boxes and he'll advance to the next round. Doug with 9. Big 9 there, just to make sure this one doesn't start to get interesting. Yeah, like middle school, high school years. Spare by Doug, that pretty much does it. I still, almost 40 years in for me, I think he's still the only person I've ever met with non-opposable thumbs. That was always my favorite fact about him. I think he was just like born that way or something. He doesn't have like the joint in the middle or something.
He's a very unique person.
Oh yeah.
That's what's amazing about him.
Yeah. I remember, so when he moved to Dennis, he was like the new kid. His family moved here. And I remember he was like sitting at the lunch table all by himself, like looking all like new kid, like didn't want to be there. And me and a couple other people, like we were the sympathetic ones. We like went there and sat with him, and that's how it started.
That's all it takes. That's all you need with people.
Yeah.
Just reach out.
And he was even in the junior league for a couple of years too, for bowling.
Was he really?
Yeah,
Over here?
in Orleans, which is
It's
like
gone now, I think you said.
no, it's still a bowling alley. They don't really. It's more of a restaurant now. Yeah.
Okay. With a name like Orleans, that's a very fancy name. Not New Orleans, it's just Orleans. Yeah.
So Doug Valancourt has won. The E-match is over. Doug Valancourt is going to round 2. So he's just a matter of the final score here. And they're like, because when I used to bowl my ACSC out of here, I do Abington now, but when ACSC was starting, because there's the rule it has to be within so many miles of the TD Garden or whatever. Orleans just falls out of it's like 8 minutes too far to be considered. So, because I was considering it when I started.
Yeah, an hour and a half is a lot, like plus 10, plus 8 minutes, plus 10.
Yeah. So this place just kind of snuck in, and Orleans just kind of snuck out.
I think originally when this thing started for this year, I think they put the whole, I could be wrong, at buzzers day.
No, that was probably me.
Okay. And I was like, buzzers day.
Oh, well, maybe they did by accident, but she was never actually considering that.
Okay.
Because I was out of there last year, so they might have saw the last name and assumed or something. But
What was it? I was also supposed to bowl against James, and originally they put James in the runs. So I was excited for the runs because I hear everything about the ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, I can't wait to go to the runs. I'm going to bowl him and show up early. I'm going to get some ice cream.
that's where I'm going for my playoff next Sunday.
Actually,
Yeah.
good luck.
Yeah. Oh, it's legit. It's legit. So Doug with a 90. He wins his match 490 to 463. Drew, I don't know what the other Class D matches were even, so to answer your question, no, I do not know the other results. As far as I knew, this was the only D match happening, so guess I was wrong. But if you're just joining late, Drew, Patrick Holland did win this match, 623 to 514. And then in the E match that you just wrapped up, Doug Valancourt wins 490 to 463. It's up to you. I mean, this qualifies. So thank you all for watching, and keep enjoying the playoff matches. And those of you on your way to the semifinals, good luck. See you next time.